Good afternoon, good morning, and good day to everybody out there in internet land. Today I have another special, probably our most special to date, because this person is a patient of chiropractic. But today I want to talk to Debbie Rossi about her journey in finding help in chiropractic and in a subset of chiropractic called upper cervical and atlas orthogonal care. And she had quite a journey that has engaged her in spreading the word. And the whole thing about navigating the jungle of illness, Debbie knows all too well. So I want to introduce you. Thank you for coming, Debbie, on the show.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me, Joe.
How is it cold up there? Is it, are you chilly? Are you keeping warm?
It is a bit chilly. I've got a cup of tea. So
Yeah.
it's, you know, we're in winter here. We're in the month of July. So it's cold and it's a little wet, but it's okay.
And that's a little bit of discomfort we can all stand. How bad did you get in your health loss? And then we'll talk about how did you navigate the jungle to find the right chiropractor?
Basically, I'm 54 or 55. And my health issues really started from the age of about 51. I've spent the last 20 to 25 years in the health and fitness industry. So I know what feeling good is. And when I got sick, I was not in a good place at all. I also knew and believed and trusted that there was an answer out there for me. And it was about leaving no stone unturned to find that help that I know that I needed to feel better. So my problem started when I hurt my neck doing yoga, which was quite shocking. I've done yoga for 5 or 6 years, and it was supposed that I've done, you know, thousands of times over 5 or 6 years. But this one particular day, I just obviously did something very wrong, and I really hurt my neck. And I felt the pain immediately. I was very, very sore, very painful. My head felt very heavy. I couldn't hold my head up. I wasn't very dizzy, but I was not balanced on my feet. So I would be walking and I'd walk into a door, or I'd go to put some plates down and I'd chip the table. Like I just was slightly off center, if that makes any sense.
And I just want to say that we are not against yoga. However,
oh, no, I love yoga.
Was that, in my opinion, terrible 90-degree headstand, shoulder stand move where nearly all the body weight is at the cervicothoracic junction, right? And your head was like 90 degrees on the floor to the body, which I don't advise. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. As I said, I was quite shocked because it was something I've always done, but this one particular day, I actually remember going into the class feeling quite frustrated and angry, and I just wasn't in a good mindset, and I pushed my body and extended my body into a position that it wasn't happy to do, and ego got in the way, basically. And so it's totally, you know, something that it was just bad luck.
And admittedly, I think there was from memory, I know your spine, there was a pre-existing disc problem there. So that's why we'll get back to the issue of having someone in your life, practitioner, who knows what's going on in your neck so they can advise you. But anyway, go on. How bad did you deteriorate? 100%
right, because I did actually know in my industry in health, I actually did know that I had some degenerative spinal disease. I knew that I had some whiplash injuries from when I was 20, but no one took the time to really explain to me, hey, be careful with this, because this could get weaker. This could lead to something else. You know, don't go bungee jumping or whatever, just be
Yeah.
a little bit more careful. But no one explained that to me.
What were your extreme symptoms that you had from
Yeah. So the
subsequent?
extreme symptoms were that incredible pain. The head felt very heavy, very off balance, off kilter. When I went to bed that night, then I developed this horrible tinnitus or tinnitus that was extremely loud.
Ringing
it was
in the ears?
ringing in the ears, very, very, very loud. So I didn't sleep. And then I woke up in the morning and I remember saying, oh, there's something wrong with my ear. And that's the problem, because I felt that there was something wrong with my ears. But in all actual fact, that was just a symptom of what was really, the root cause of what was really at fault. So from the ringing in the ears, of course, I didn't sleep, which then caused a lot of TMJ and jaw problems because I was grinding my teeth at night and I wasn't sleeping. So then I developed insomnia and anxiety and weight gain and TMJ problems, and my neck is still sore and my posture suffered. And then I wasn't exercising because I had a lot of tingling, a lot of sensitivity in my fingers. I lost a lot of grip strength as well. So I just became really fearful and anxiety took over, and then the depression set in. And when you live with chronic pain and you don't know what to do or where to go, or, it just robs you of any confidence and you become a shell of a person. And that's what happened to me. It was really horrible.
So what led you to investigate chiropractic and Atlas orthogonal work?
Well, it was a journey. Again, my initial reaction was I've got to turn off this ringing, because that was causing me to have a really poor quality of life. So I went to ear doctors and I was looking at what's wrong with my ears. And then, I just kept getting rejected. Oh, there's no treatment available for tinnitus. You just have to learn to accept it and live with it. And of course, I struggled with that. So I went to a lot of doctors, Joe. I went to naturopaths, I went to ear doctors, I went to psychologists, psychiatrists, I went to a tinnitus clinic. But then I had an epiphany one day where I thought, well, where did this all start? It all started with my neck. It all started with that stupid pose where I hurt myself. Let me try and find somebody to help my neck.
Okay.
So then I went to, I think it was an orthopedic surgeon who said there's nothing wrong in regards to having a surgery. So in one way it was like, okay, I don't need a surgery. That's good. So who else can help me? And I went searching specifically for an upper cervical chiropractor.
Was that your own instinct?
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, unfortunately, the first thing I did was go to an ear doctor, and then I went to a neurologist. So the upper cervical was a little bit far down my list of people to go through, but I wish it was up at the top.
If only we could make it easier for people to access what they need. And that's, I think, important. So
Yeah.
Go on. What happened then?
So, again, I was just so focused on the tinnitus because that's all you can hear. And to hear people say, well, there's no treatment. But I knew and believed that tinnitus in itself is not a disease. It's a symptom of something else that's wrong. Let me try and figure out what else is wrong. So that's where I sort of came, okay, well, let's look at the posture. Let's look at the head. What's going on with the head? Let's look at the neck. And I knew that I needed not just any chiropractor. I needed somebody specifically for upper cervical. So
is that where you stumbled upon Greg Buchanan's site?
Correct. So what happened then was I was searching. There was hardly anyone in Australia who was doing Atlas work at that time. There were literally 5 or 6 people, and they were all quite so far away from where I am. So I went searching for upper cervical, Atlas doctor, neck doctor. That's what I was looking at. And I came across a website in America that talked about supplements and posture and exercises and this, that, and the other. And of course, I'm just reading every single page of this website. And on one of those pages was Greg's details, who was from Australia. And I just thought, I have to find this guy. And he very graciously took my phone call on a Sunday afternoon when I rang in tears saying, please, what did you do? Can you help me? And he directed me to you. And that was really the beginning of a life-changing experience for me, because I was at that point of very mentally not well at all.
I'm focusing on the access points.
Correct.
And people are discouraged from going on Dr. Google. I don't even use Google. But without, one, I noticed you had determination. 2, you took up, well, you had redirections of disappointment. And number 3, you then had study. You had to study using the brilliant internet resources. And let's face it, the internet is the worst and the best thing on earth at the moment. But you use those resources, and he directed you to the solution.
Because, you know, again, when you're living in chronic pain, everything is affected. Even your own reasoning and thinking is so affected because you're just so desperate for the solution. So I remember asking you, when is it going to get better? When's it going to do that? You know, these things do take time, and your body does need time to respond and heal. But in the hands of the right practitioner, you do have to just trust the process and trust the professional. You've done years of study and research and accreditations, and, you know.
How would you say redirect the structure of the healthcare system so that you don't have to be so delayed from finding out who you need? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people who have what I have and who aren't as proactive as I was in being so determined to find an answer and to keep looking for people. And, you know, so and I've had to keep looking for somebody to help.
You're now seeing it not as so much the system's broken or access unreasonable. You're saying it's a question of human determination and will.
It's definitely that, but also I do believe that some doctors and professionals need to also be open-minded to convey with other practitioners and professionals in putting their patient first and trying to figure out an answer to people's solutions. So, yeah, and I'll give you a prime example. When I started to feel better and the tinnitus started to lessen, I went back to that original ear doctor who said that he couldn't help me. And I tried to tell him, hey, this is what I did. This is who I saw. Just be aware of this information in case somebody else comes along. And he just didn't want to know about it. He didn't want to know anything about my journey or where I found the solution.
Professional arrogance, I guess, in many.
It was so disheartening to hear that. Yeah, he was a, you know, what can I say?
I said
I think, you know, I try and tell so many people to explore, you know, every possible solution and not just to give up and listen to one person that says there's no answer. There is an answer.
What would you say to your best friend about what is going on when you have your atlas analysed and adjusted? How would you tell them?
Oh, well, it's not like anything you would expect. You know, I think a lot of people have got fear around some chiropractors. I know I certainly don't like the cracking and the noise, but Atlas is very different. It is so gentle. I sometimes would say to you, did you do anything? Like, did you do something? Because I can't feel anything. And you would say, oh yeah, it's done. You wait till tomorrow. And you're so right, because every time I would have an adjustment done by you, it wasn't until the next day that I could really feel the difference and feel the benefits of being more stable on my feet, not having the headaches, having a really good night's sleep, feeling better in my body, feeling stronger in my body. And of course, the tinnitus was going down, the volume was going down. So I could see the difference. But yeah,
Now,
look, it's a very different thing, the Atlas. It's very gentle,
right.
and it's obviously, I don't know how it works, but obviously there's something going on at a cellular level, I would say.
What would you say to someone who says they don't want an X-ray, that it's dangerous?
To have an X-ray?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have X-ray vision, do you, Joe?
I love that answer. I like that answer.
I think the amount of radiation that's given off by an X-ray is probably very minimal. I think it's warranted and needed, especially when you're looking at the neck, because the neck can be responsible for so many other systems in your body. You know, it protects the spinal cord, doesn't it? So
yep.
The neck, those first few cervical discs, are so important, because balancing the head correctly is what affects all of your other systems in your body, right down to your hips and your feet and your ankles and knees. So you got to get the head and the neck on right. You got to get your head screwed on right. So I think an X-ray is incredibly important. Yeah.
Now,
and I don't want anybody touching my neck unless they've seen what's going on, you know, with my X-ray. So
beautiful.
No, it's very
important. Okay. You had some relapses. You had some times where you came in and were you ready to throw in the towel? How did you deal with a relapse? Did you give up? What was going through your head when you had a relapse? Or did you?
Well, what was going through my head was, I need to come and see you more often. You know, it's
but you must have got a bit disheartened.
Well, yeah, and anxiety ramps up again, you know, and you just think, oh my God, am I ever going to get better again? But I think where you've just got to trust the process and have faith. Communication's really important. And I'm so grateful that even though you were halfway around the world, you still took the time to reassure me, to contact me, and just give my mind a peace of mind to say, it's okay, take a deep breath, let's calm everything down, we'll get this back under control. And you did. And, you know, you were in Dubai at the time, and you still offered that incredible service to me by reassuring me and letting me know that things are under control.
And not only that, when COVID struck its blow, I closed my city office and you were a little bit abandoned, and I kept in touch. I retreated to my city as a suburban office, and it was very hard for you because I wasn't travelling into the city anymore or living there. I moved out of the city. And so COVID was a big factor in, you know, you must have had a bit of abandonment issues. And when I was in Dubai, I put you on to another excellent chiropractor too. So, yeah, it was tough for you when you couldn't get access to the care you needed as well.
Yeah, sure was. When you find a health professional who is willing to listen to you and treat you as a person and not a number, and who has a degree of excellence and understanding and expertise to your condition, you want to keep that person close to you. You want to keep that person in your team, in your health team. You know, I've got a little team looking after me, and you're one of them. I see somebody for some massage as well, and acupuncture, and I'm getting some Pilates done to work on my core,
right,
which is for my posture. So you know, and then of course I've got my very excellent GP. But even my GP, I had to be the one to go to my GP and tell her, I want to find this, I want to see this, I want to do this, help me find that.
Yeah.
So you also have to be responsible to a certain degree and amount for your own care. But when you find that person to be on your team to help you, you want to keep that person in your life. And you are certainly that to me. That's 100% sure.
And that is, you've done a wonderful job today, Debbie. The team thing is so important. No practitioner is everything, you know,
Yeah.
and you've spoken so highly about my technique that it's out of this world. But you know, it's not everything. It's like you said, it's a practitioner that supports you, patient-centered.
Very much.
None of this,
Very
don't
much.
do that, or don't look on the internet. You know, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. So anything else you want to add?
And I just want to encourage people to give it a chance, because unfortunately, so many of us are after a quick fix. We all want, okay, I'll come and see you, and after 2 or 3 sessions, I don't feel any different. Oh, well, forget about that. No, don't. You've got to give it time. You've got to give your body an opportunity and a chance to heal. And I found with you, I got, you know, I just kept getting better and better and better after each and every treatment. So even though I was coming to see you weekly and then it was fortnightly, I mean, now it's every 3 or 4 months, because my body's getting better, my posture is corrected, my atlas is aligned, you know, everything is healing. So I just want to encourage people not to, you've just got to give it a chance and give it an opportunity to work. And you're amazing.
Yeah, and I want to stress, it's about, there are many trusted professionals, and what I do is basically buy the technique book and find a chiropractor who has 1 or 2 or 3 techniques, not 57 of them, or, you know, maybe they have their own technique and it works. But
I can ask you a question. So I know that when I was coming to see you in your practice, when you talk about techniques, you know, you would do these measurements and you've got this special little table and everything's very precise in regards to exactly where you use your activator to work on the atlas. But I know you were doing other techniques on me as well. So what else did
just clarifying, the AO instrument is not an activator, but with you and other practitioners too, they might use the atlas instrument and activator on the rest of your spine. An activator is another wonderful technique that is using an instrument. And also we have doctors that use the atlas and might do manual work on the lower spine too. So I personally combine the upper neck and do some stuff to the rest of the body. I always have. Some of my other colleagues work differently. So yeah, you
had this machine that felt like a jackhammer or something. It was like a massage thing, remember?
Well, that's the wonderful Impulse IQ instrument from Dr. Chris Kaloka, is also a wonderful program that is very specific as well.
For people who are suffering from any sort of headache, dizziness, tinnitus, TMJ issues, neck problems, whiplash injuries, any upper cervical thing, I would 100% implore them to seek your services and to just trust your method of treatment. And you have actually given my life back to me. And I don't say that lightly. You know, I couldn't even have this conversation with you for 3 years ago. I was such a mess, emotionally, physically. I couldn't function because it was like there was a disconnect from my brain to the rest of my body. So I'm just so grateful that you have actually played a big part in helping me to find my groove again. And
thank you.
Now you're educating me as well about future care for my neck and my shoulders and my posture. So I'm very grateful for the continuing education that you give so freely, you know.
Okay. What we'll say now is, God bless you, Debbie. As my mentor Roy Sweat says, God bless chiropractic. God bless Atlas Orthogonal. And God bless us all for in our quest to seek what we need. And today's been about that. And I thank you for sharing your experience, Debbie.
Oh, no, thank you, Joe.
All right.